7 is the quadratic formula. Are you ready to go there, Matthias? Oh, well, I don't like to hear that. All right, so quadratic formula. To use the quadratic formula, two things need to happen first. One, you have to make sure that it is in standard form. And part of making sure it's in standard form is that it has to be set equal to 0, just like everything else. Okay, so I want to remind you standard form looks like this. Ax squared plus bx plus c, and we're going to have it set equal to 0. We're going to be using that a, that b, and that c for our equation. Quadratic formula, ready? Quadratic formula is negative b plus n minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Yes, we've done it before. The only difference is that back in Algebra 1, I let you put that number under the square root into your calculator and get a decimal. Nope. No. We're going with the exact answer. So think about what we got yesterday. We had square roots left there, didn't we? Those are exact answers. You know how to simplify a square root, right? That's what we're doing. Okay? You can to a certain degree. Okay? So let's just see what we remember here. Here is example number 1. I know you guys know all about this. Example number 1, let's say I have 3x squared. I'm stuck. 3x squared plus 2x plus 1 equals 0. So first, is that in standard form? Is it set equal to 0? All right. So now I need my a, b, and c. Still stuck. There we go. Okay. So, a value is 3. My b value is 2. And my c value is 1. So, we have negative 2 plus n minus the square root of b squared. And I like to go ahead and just write it down without having to worry about squaring it later. Minus 4 times a times c all over 2 times 3. Okay, so what you really need to start with is simplifying what's inside the square root. If that number comes out to be a negative, there are no real solutions. And you get to stop. Okay? Yeah, absolutely. So I have negative 2 plus and minus the square root of 4 minus 12, or negative 8 over 6. Since it is a negative underneath the square root, for now, you write no real solution. I'm sure you can already guess eventually. Of course. All right. Imaginary isn't going to come. I'm going to wait and do imaginary numbers after the exam to kind of cover all of this all together before we go on. Okay? All right. Let's do another one. Example number 2. Let's say I have 2x plus, or 2x squared, excuse me, plus 3x equals 12. Good. Yes, we have to subtract it over, so that's step number 1. So 2x squared plus 3x minus 12 equals 0. Now my a value is 2, My b value is 3, and my c value is negative 12. All right. So negative b, which is negative 3, plus and minus the square root of b squared, which is 9, minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. So again, we start by simplifying inside the square root. So I have negative 3 plus and minus. This is 9 plus 96. 105 over 4. So now we have to look and see, is there any way to reduce that or simplify that radical? 105 breaks down into 5 times 11. Right. Oh, thank you. 21. Yeah, 7 and 3. So can I take anything out? So this right here is my final answer. That's it. It's actually less work than having to plug it in your calculator and get out a decimal and do both equations and both answers. And yeah, it's less work now. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's not. Example number 3. All right, so I'm talking about the quadratic formula. Technically, this is what you're doing for 12 through 24. Okay, solve using the using quadratic formula. All right, and let's go with, what if I have, let's really make it fun. How about 12 plus 9x squared equals 5x? Okay, let's move the 5x over. Sounds like a plan. Then don't I want to put it into standard form at the same time? Yeah, let's make that let's make this a negative 12 in front. I want to change it. Sorry, guys. Oh. So I have 9x squared. Good. Minus 12 equals 0. Awesome. Okay. So what's my a value? What's my b value? And what's my c value? Perfect. All right, so we have negative b, which is going to make that a positive 5, plus and minus the square root. B squared is how much? Good. Minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. So then we're going to decide what's inside that square root. 4, 5, 7. All right, so we have 5 plus and minus the square root of 457 over 18. Can 457 be divisible by anything? No, so we're done. Let me look real quick. I'm looking. Looks like 3-ish, 3, 4. Let's do one more example before I go to the next part, okay? How about example number 4? Same thing, I want you to use the quadratic formula. So let's go with x squared plus 3, equals 4x. I kind of wrote that crooked. All right, so what do I do first? Move the 4x over, don't I? That's supposed to be a plus 3. I said it. So I have x squared minus 4x plus 3 equals 0. So my a value is 1. My b value, negative 4. And my c value is 3. So I have negative 4, or positive 4, plus and minus the square root. B squared minus 4 times a times c all over 2a. All right, underneath the square root, what do I get? 4. So what is the square root of 4? So we have 4 plus and minus 2 divided by 2. Now this we can simplify, right? I'm going to start with doing the top. What's 4 plus 2? Divided by 2 is 3. There's one answer. 4 minus 2. Divided by 2. Good. All right, so sometimes that happens where your square root completely simplifies. That could happen, and it's a little bit more work because you have to do the adding and subtracting, okay? All right, so we're ready to go on to the next part? Okay. Next thing I want to talk about is there are 3 different ways the solution can occur, okay? So far, mostly what we've been doing is our parabola has crossed the x-axis twice, right? This is 2 solutions. So it's crossed twice. We have had, like on the worksheet yesterday, we had one. Sorry about that. Come back. We had one where the parabola came down and just touched it in one place. We had the same factor twice, right? So if it comes down and only touches it in one spot, this is one solution. And the last option that could happen is if my parabola is up here in space and doesn't cross at all. If that happens, that's when we have no real solution. Okay? So now, when you do the square root part of your problem, underneath that square root is b squared minus 4ac, right? If that equals a positive number, let's just write it as a plus sign. A positive number, then we get 2 solutions. If when we do underneath that square root, you get the answer of 0, you only get 1 solution. And if, when you do under that square root, you get a negative number like we did in example number 1, that's no real solution. Okay, so there's 3 things that could happen. Now, I tell you that because this technically is called the discriminant. Discriminant. There we go. Okay? So the next section is asking you just to find the discriminant and say how many solutions there will be. Don't have to find the solutions. Just got to evaluate the discriminant and state the number of solutions. So here is example number 5, 4, 5. Okay. Sample 5. Evaluate the discriminant and state number of solutions. All right. Move this up a little bit. Okay. So let's say I have 3x squared plus 7x minus 1 equals 0. Okay, there's your problem. Of course, you know you have to get it in standard form, and it's got to be set equal to 0, right? My a value is 3, my b value is 7, and my c value is negative 1. So I'm going to plug it into b squared minus 4ac. B is 7, so 7 squared or 49 minus 4 times a times c. What do we get? I got 61 also. There's a negative and a negative here, so the two negatives have to make a positive, right? We're adding them together. So if we get a positive 61, how many solutions are there? Two solutions. Okay, let's do one more. Let's say I have x squared plus 36 equals positive 12x. So positive equals 12x. So first thing I have to do is get it set equal to 0 and put it in standard form, right? So x squared minus 12x plus 36 equals 0. Alright, so my a value is good, my b value, and my c value. Good. So we have b squared, or negative 12 squared, minus 4 times 1 times 36. We get 0. What does 0 mean? One solution. Nobody get tricked there and say 0 means no solutions. It means one solution. Okay? Alright. So this is what you are doing for problems 26 through 36. And I'm actually going to change that assignment to 36, and we're going to stop there. Okay? And yes, you have about 10 minutes, a little more than 10 minutes. You probably can get a lot of this done. All right? You guys okay if I take 2 problems off?